Revelstoke. It's a town you always pass right through. We've discovered it by chance, and since it's been coming back again and again. It's a town with a lot of history. It has some very fascinating people here. Hey bud.
Hey.
Aren't you Peter Worden?
How'd you know?
I've seen your picture on the Rev Quarterly. Is this you?
That is me. Yeah, I feature abundantly. Peter.
Pleased to meet you, bud. My name is Hendrik. I'm from the Cowboy News Network.
Cool.
Is this your office?
It is one of my offices.
I have to ask you about these things. You got something called here the Nanton Experiment. You've got the Rev Quarterly. But what's this about?
Well, I don't know. I like miniature newspapers, you know. It's the new newspaper in my mind. All the big newspapers, people are not reading so much, so I've started a small newspaper that I could get bigger and grow. The Nanton thing was an experiment, the Nanton Experiment, but now I'm in Revelstoke and I publish Rev Quarterly, so I thought I'd publish a quarterly.
But this is tiny news or small news.
I don't love hard news, and I think that it's still important to tell enjoyable news, and I think it's good to tell it in an enjoyable way, so I tell it in tiny form.
It looks a little ridiculous though, on the back of your truck, sitting here in Revelstoke of all places. How come you're doing this? What happened? What changed in your life?
I know journalists who would kill for this office. I always felt like we were too busy telling the news to tell stories. In a real news sense, you don't want to fabricate, but in the type of news that I like to tell, you like to inject an element of fabrication, which is, you know, you inject yourself or you inject an angle into the news. People are smart these days. People have been around news doing what it does traditionally for a century, and so people grow tired of that, you know, like telling stories the same old way, and they kind of see through it.
One thing I've noticed is your classifieds all have the same phone number. How many phone calls do you get?
Not as many as I'd like, you know. I offer free 24/7 cribbage lessons. No one ever takes me up on that. And then opens up to a useful item, if you're getting married anyway.
So this couple is going to wed on May the 22nd, and the whole wide world is invited? What's that about?
That's only a slight fabrication, and I doubt the whole world will show up, but they are invited to Revelstoke for this couple's wedding.
You guys are saying you're inviting the whole wide world. Why?
Well, that'd be Peter just taking liberties, but we figured we're doing it right here in the gazebo. It was the cheapest place to rent because it was $100 to shut the street down, and we thought, we can't stop them. Pack it.
Peter is trying to sell Revelstoke to the wedding world out there. Is that a good thing, or is this a secret we need to keep?
Every Valentine's Day, you can get married for free.
You can get married for free
up at the ski hill.
Here in Revelstoke?
In Revelstoke, yep.
This is awesome, the Nanton Experiment. You are heading back to Nanton, yes, no?
Yes, Nanton is part of an organization called Cool Little Towns, and I think that cool little towns could use a cool little newspaper, which is what I can do.
I love it. And the Cowboy News Network is going to bring all of that to you folks, so stay tuned.